Hey guys, happy October 3. Today is my dad who passed away 5 years ago on December 7th, 2010. Today, October 3rd, is his false birthday. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to say happy birthday to my dad, rest his soul. I have a few of his pictures on my Google Plus page, and I went to go visit his graveyard last Saturday, so I have some photos of the red rock and the Armenian solar or infinity. It's not actually a solar symbol. It's known to be a solar symbol, but it's an infinity symbol with a cross. So my dad was born, it's been written that he's 2 years younger in his passport, but his real birthday is November the 3rd, so he's actually a Scorpio, and in the Vedic, he's considered to be a Libra. So, isn't that funny? So yeah, I just want to say happy birthday to him. I was very, very close to my dad. I still am. I'm very close to his spirit, and he sends me, so many opportunities and so many, never ends. A lot of stuff. So, yeah, that's just to, send my appreciation, my gratitude towards him, and all that he's done for me, and all that he tried to do for me, although, nobody knew what he died from. He passed away a little too early for what he went, he wasn't supposed to die, what I mean is he died before his time, and he wasn't able to really say goodbye to anybody or me, and he was really close to me, so, I know his soul, his spirit, always felt like he was lingering on here for so long on this planet, because he didn't get to do or finish his contract here on Earth, but he's been working on it with me, and we've been partnered, as weird as that sounds, for those of you who are, extremely practical, and, come on, by now, when you're watching, my videos, you've seen my videos, you've seen my work, I work with spirits and ethereal and ancestrals, my ancestry, I work with their spirits. They're the ones that, communicate with me, and that's how everything is really given to me, and, if it's a secret, if it's a manifestation, if it's things that have happened in my ancestral bloodline 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 200 years ago, they're the ones that are communicating it with me, and then I find documents to prove it, so it is what it is. I also do have another person that passed away in November. So I was going to do a November the 3rd birthday for my dad. However, I'm going to wait for the 13th of November so that I can give a shout out, a loving shout out, and a dedication for a brother of mine that was born and passed away November the 13th. So, yeah. It's funny because, people see me as, this really loving, which I am, a really loving, cheerful, lucky, happy-go-lucky person, again, which I am. I'm not going to deny that. Very loving, very accepting, very don't like conflict, and even if there is conflict, I always work my bum off to clear the conflict. However, like everything in life, I do have a dark side. I admit it. I will never deny it. It's there. It will always be there. But I work with it, just like I work with everything. So I have a dark side, and it's really dark. And from what I remember last year, late November last year, when I was part of that, that youth entrepreneur program thing, that I was working with other young entrepreneurs creating more, youthful businesses in the area of York region, getting their businesses off the ground and working with them and collaborating with them and whatnot. And I remember there were a group of guys, and some of them were like starting their own contracting companies. Some of them were doing, like engineering or like car stuff, whatever it was, right? And some of them were younger than me, some of them were my age, whatever, right? But most of them were younger than me. But it was funny because I may say this a little bit off because, it's been a year and whatever, but from what I remember is when we would go in this program, I remember to not sit all the way in the back because there was a group of guys that every single time I passed by them or every single time I was near them, I can overhear them, making remarks about me, like uncomfortable remarks, like about my figure or, sexual remarks, I guess, about areas of my body and such things like that. So I would just ignore it because boys will be boys and that's how they are, And, but they're pretty intelligent people, and so they were nice guys above and beyond. Do you guys see that red light? Sitting like right. Look at that. Wow. Anyways, so yeah, and so I'd either sit in the front or the middle because me, me, when I'm in an activity or a group, I share my information. Like, I will share my experience, I will question things, I will give my opinions, and I enjoy that debate. I enjoy debating with people because we all learn from it. I'm totally into that stuff. And so I always have something to say or to question what reality of this business is or that business is, because it was about entrepreneurship. It's not about, opening a franchise. We have to remember that franchise and entrepreneurship isn't the same thing. Franchise, you've got to go by the built business, the head office. And if you don't go by their contract and by what they want, hey, your business is going to be shut down. But entrepreneurship, it's got a different mentality in there. And I don't want to really get into like what I mean specifically that we were kind of getting into, and I was like questioning what reality is, and like people are getting into good, heated, like fun debates, But so anyways, that one guy that was making that remarks and whatnot. So, don't want to say the words, but you get what I mean. So, during breaks, some of us would go get coffee or, they'd go out for smokes, even though I don't smoke, but they would go out for smoke breaks and, whatever it is that they wanted to do. And I remember one time, like I was sitting there in the back, and I think I was like a minute or 2 minutes late, which never happens, but that day I was late. So I had to sit in the back. And here I am with these group of guys, and they're making their remarks, and I'm just like, and still continuing, like, being involved with the activities, and, like, questioning things, and giving my remarks and whatnot. So, one of the guys goes, we're gonna go grab coffee, come with us, we'll get you coffee. And I'm like, okay, because I really wanted coffee. So I'm like, alright. So, as we're getting in the car, I'm just thinking to myself, oh great, I'm not going to hear the end of this, right? Because with their sexual remarks and whatnot, I'm like, I'm not going to hear the end of this. Like, I'm going to be in this car, and they're just going to be probably disrespecting me as a woman about my, nothing, like, rude in terms of weight or anything, nothing like that at all, but it's more of like, because they appreciate a full-figured woman, but it was more about like, like sexual remarks and about my physical beauty according to them, which they apparently like. So I'm just thinking to myself, great, I'm not going to hear the end of this, right? What am I getting myself into? So, but it's daylight. I trusted the people, I have to see them like almost however times I was seeing them, 2-3 times a week or whatever. And if anything was gonna happen, I would have probably got them into trouble, if anything physically took place, if they tried anything on me. But it was during the day and whatnot, even though shit can happen during the day. So I'm mumbling, let me get to the point. And, so I get in the car, and these guys are opening the doors for me, they're closing the doors for me, the car doors, the front door, the back door, and completely respectful. We're in the car, they're so respectful, completely different than when they're in the group. Say there was two of them. So 2 of them in the front, 1 driving, 1 in the passenger seat, and I was in the back, so it was 3 of us. Mind you, in the room, there was like a group of them, like 7, 8, 10. And, so we're just sitting there, and they were so respectful, and I was like, oh, that's different, And so out of nowhere, as we're going to get the coffee, one of the guys goes, I'll give you the other guy's name. So one of the guy goes, yeah, Talara, me and Kyle, we talk about you in the program and outside of the program a lot. And I just, from the front of the mirror, I see Kyle nodding his head, smiling and whatnot. Kyle is the guy in the passenger seat, the other guy. And he's like, and he goes, he's like, I'm an experienced guy. Like, I've seen all types of girls. He's like, I've seen every girl possible. I've been around. And he's like, and based by the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you carry yourself, he goes, I always tell Kyle, that's not a girl you want to mess with. And I'm only laughing because the guy's brilliant, and it's absolutely correct, and it's so true. And I'm glad he's so intelligent, and that's why he was there, having his own business, succeeding at what he's doing, because he's very smart and not... The point is, the moral of the story is, don't judge people based on appearances. You never know what's there. You never know what they've been through. You never know what they're capable of. Just like him, maybe most people, maybe most girls would be afraid of him, that he's like this perverted type of guy. Meanwhile, when I was behind closed doors with him in a car, where probably anything could have happened, he was so respectful. They even took me out at that time. We got like sushi, and like veggie sushis and whatnot, and and they were so respectful, and just absolutely respectful. And just don't judge a book by its cover. You never know. It's I've dedicated my life to never judge a book by its cover. Well, I can't really say that I can, because either way I see right to the core of someone's soul. People can be talking and showing their surface, but I don't look into that. I feel, I see, based on my empathy and what I've been given, bestowed, like the gifts that I have. Want to call it a gift, want to call it a curse, that's totally up to you. It's totally up to how you perceive things. But maybe I used to see it as a curse when I was little, and there was no internet to kind of provide. Anyways, but don't judge a book by its cover. Sure, maybe there are people that they appear as assholes, and they maybe are assholes deep down inside, but they're just finding their own forms of love, really. They're only trying to find their own, whatever it is. If it's their material happiness, their business whatever it is, let them be. If you find they're not for you, that's fine. You build your own solid foundation. You build your own structure. And those people that are, willing to work with you will come. Don't concentrate on whoever it is. I'm not saying I'm still talking to those guys. I'm not saying I'm building anything with those guys. What I'm saying is they were there. We were working on these entrepreneur things together because they have the intelligence to make it work. And I was there helping them, putting in what I needed to put in, and they were putting in whatever they needed to put in for my business or my structure and whatnot. Do you get what I mean? So it's always a give. It's not even about give and take. It's about people will be given what they need. rather than what they want, okay? If I've learned anything about life, you will be given what you need more than what you want. And that's a gift. That's a good thing, because humans keep wanting and wanting and wanting. And the things that they really need are the stuff that they reject. So, if I've learned anything, it's to just accept what it is that the universe wants to provide me. The same goes for you. So, yeah. And, I could just sit here and talk about so many different experiences, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're all experiencing this earth reality. We're all experiencing these earth changes of reality, because it is changing huge. There was no such thing as internet reality 100 years ago. There was no such thing as cars 100, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Was there? No. So reality is constantly changing, and we're adapting to this, and it's just, thankfully, it's moving forward and it's working out. Until next time, see ya.